Voters and politicians at odds in Missouri. This is all following Tuesday's primary. Amendment 4, which would have raised the threshold for amending the Missouri Constitution, overwhelmingly failed. Well, on the same day, Secretary of State Denny Hoskins announced that he would not be certifying a petition submitted by the Respect Missouri Voters campaign. Hoskins also issued a certificate of insufficiency for a separate HB1 referendum petition filed by People Not Politicians Missouri. He says he believes the Respect Missouri Voters petition violated the single subject rule.
We have a certain amount of words that we can use in order for that ballot summary, and when you try and cram all those many different provisions in there, it's very unlikely that you can fit everything that the ballot initiative would do in such a small summary.
So now Respect Missouri voters, they are taking legal action against Hoskins, hoping that the courts will force him to put this measure on the ballot. So the lawsuit does need a ruling by September 8th, when the November ballot has to be certified.